What's going on, everybody? Another build update. I know I do a couple changes a week, it seems like, but it's just the hobby of car audio being a bass head. So Jacob Vile here on Jacob Vile 2 channel. I'm doing a big build update. So recent video you already saw meter score. So now that I got my official scores out, as well as, hey, let's have some more fun with this. So now instead of going for peak with high ratio, I'm going to go ahead and use the same enclosure and get as much space as I can in this sealed enclosure. So this is going to give me a different bass response on the low end response, opening it up. And then there's some things I can do trial with on this. And this will help teach people the concept of going from inverted to verted with their subwoofer, since I'm going to be going inverted, taking all the wood out that I put in here as well. If you saw the previous videos, go ahead and check those videos out if you haven't. So taking out the bracings as well in the box, pretty much have the most optimal space as I can. Make sure it's all sealed off, and we'll see where we go from there. Stay tuned in the video. I appreciate you guys always watching, and stay tuned. So I'm going to be doing some more build updates with this and include this in the video. So I just wanted to do a quick one real quick, showing you guys that I'm going to be going inverted and taking all the wood out, see how it does different. And besides that, took the bracings out, and we'll see how the specs of the ratio change. So before, I was at 0.6 sealed in the enclosure. There we go. This was 0.6 sealed. After I invert the subwoofer and take all the wood out, it should be around a 1.1 cube sealed. So a whole half a cube is going to come out of this box when I invert it. And then we're also going to take out about a quarter of a cube of wood that we took out of the front. So between the port bracing displacement and the bracings that I have in here, it'll be about half a cube as well. So that's a little build update. Once I get into the box, I'll make another little build video for y'all to see. So appreciate you guys watching. I'm sure not everybody likes this build update of the single 10 build I have, but hey, it's on my second channel. There's a reason I'm doing it. Teach people, give you some concepts and tips throughout the video. So stay tuned. So I got the subwoofer out and I got my wood out. So I got a couple pieces in the back that I'm not going to remove, but I took out around 0.2.5, almost 0.3 cubes of wood from the sealed section. Sorry, it's a little blurry. And I'm going to be inverting the sub like I mentioned. Sorry, it's a little loud. So between inverting the sub with around 0.2 displacement and removing, let's say 0.3, so I'm taking out a whole cube, a half a cube of boxwood from this enclosure. So it's around 0.6. So actually it was 0.4 I'm removing. So right now it's going to be around 1 cube instead of 0.4. So instead of 0.4 or 0.6 before, it'll be 1 cube. So that should be a lot better than before, but we'll see how that goes. Definitely looks weird with all of the wood out. Can't believe I had that much wood in there mounted regular. Pretty blurry. And I'm going to put some tape around all the holes. I had screw holes in there from the wood. So that's one thing you can do when it comes to 4th orders and 6th orders, and really any enclosure, ported and sealed. You can put 2x4s, 2x6s, pieces of birch in there, add and remove, and see how you like it. So I'm just going for more low end response now. So I'm taking out a lot from my back end of the sealed section, so I can see how it adjusts differently. And with inverting an enclosure subwoofer from regular to, sorry, it's pretty loud with the dogs, but inverting it from regular mount, you usually gain more space internally of your enclosure. So you normally will get a little bit of a lower peak response. So you could drop 1 or 2 frequencies, as well as, hey, you could also gain on the meter depending on your enclosure. So that's something you can trial and error. You never know. 10 minutes of work could help you gain or get louder or sound better. But now I'm going for more low end response. I'm going to lose a couple of dBs from this, going from like a 10-to-1 ratio to like a 5-to-1 ratio. Cut the ratio in half, but it's still a high ratio. And I'll talk about ratios and 4th orders as well in the future, so stay tuned to that. So stay tuned as I put the build update. I'm going to do a finisher video after this with the sub-mounted regular, and that'll be into this video, so enjoy. All right, so now I got the subwoofer inverted and mounted in place. I'm not going to tape over it this time, no reason, because I'm sure this is trial, but you never know. I'm sure I'm going to lose on the meter, as I mentioned as well, but I got the motor inverted instead of mounting in the subwoofer box. So once I get this all hooked up today or tomorrow, and then I'll get it, see how it plays, and do another build update, I'm sure. So stay tuned. It's definitely going to be a little different having it inverted. So another plus, couple pluses about being inverted versus mounted regular. So first off, obviously cooling. You have better cooling, and you also are going to have a little bit more efficient coil. Actually, that's probably not true. I wouldn't say you get more efficient coil suspension, but there's got to be some form of like efficiency with it being mounted inverted than regular, I've noticed, especially imported in case scenarios and sealed enclosures, because what happens is with the motor, the way it gets in the way of the enclosure, I think it would cause a little bit of a difference in sound waves. Maybe I could be wrong with that. I don't know. But there's got to be some kind of reason behind why somebody would want to invert it. And there's got to be benefits, because I've noticed that normally when people mount regular in fourth orders, they gain because it goes into a bigger ratio versus the outside. But also, I think for long-term demos, maybe the cooling effect of being in a sealed enclosure causes you to lose. So with the heat build up so fast, but on the ported inside, you can cool it off faster. So that's another plus. But you never know unless you try it yourself. So you invert versus regular is really all trial and error. So got that wired up soon and see how it goes. So stay tuned for another build update to come. Thanks for watching. Jacob Vile out. Just so you know, I'm not the best at this and I'm still learning. So sometimes I might say things that are wrong, but either way, it's fun. Later.